It would be easy to miss. Why is that still there? Why is that? Can't turn off annotations anymore? What is that? Is it just there forever now? You just can't even turn that off? Okay, that's annoying. Anyway, it would be easy to miss that this mysterious animated short film, close to you, is Pikmin related at all if you are not intimately familiar with the series. But even if you did know, going in for the first time, that this was Pikmin related, I think that it would be easy to imagine that this was simply a film about a Pikmin stealing a pacifier from a baby and getting that baby to walk in the process. However, my friends, there are actually many Pikmin in this trailer. It's really funny. Like, your brain and your eyes can only process so much at a time. And in the process of editing the videos I've been doing, I've been watching it over and over again. And there are so many more Pikmin here than I first realized. I just keep finding more of them. I am not going to claim that I am certain I've found every single one. And we also can't have we can't be 100% certain about a total count because they are invisible to us. And so you can't be certain of the exact number because you don't know what the exact Pikmin are doing at any given time. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to point out every single instance of a Pikmin that I have found. And we are going to do our best to come up with an at least number. The number that we know it is at least as much as. Now, the very, very first Pikmin that appears, you actually can't see it, but you can hear it. It's knocking on the door. Sorry, I will try not to make too many jokes like that. For real, though, the first Pikmin is right here at the beginning. And again, they are invisible. For all I know, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of Pikmin dancing around this whole entire scene right now, and I just can't see them. But I think it's safe to assume there's probably one here. She shuts the door, a thing falls over, but then someone's over here, moving around, tries to pick up the blocks. It's too heavy. They fall over. All right, instead, how about we roll this rattle? That's something I missed at first, too. That the rattle is not being pushed by the force of the rolling block. It is definitely being pushed by a Pikmin. You can see it pushing on either side. So right there, our Pikmin count is at 1. I got my little piece of paper here. We got 1 Pikmin. And then here is where it gets interesting. Enter a second Pikmin carrying a block. And then clearly the first Pikmin has lost its rattle, but it takes a look at this binky here. And then right there, we see them fighting over it. So right now, there are 2. They are fighting over the pacifier. So our total Pikmin count is now at 2. And one thing I want to point out is that at this point, I really did think that it was just 1 Pikmin running with this pacifier. But yeah, the more I watch it, now it's obvious. I think both of the first 2 Pikmin are with this pacifier pretty much the entire rest of the time. And they are continually fighting over it. That's why it's like jerking around all over the place. Like they're still trying to get the pacifier. And if we want to take a quick pause for a little lore, a small lore break. I love the implication here that when Pikmin are left to their own devices and they're just kind of wandering around looking for stuff to grab, they're really bad at it. You know, that one at the beginning tried to pick up the blocks and failed at it because it was probably alone. It's too heavy. And then 2 Pikmin, instead of working together, you know, someone's rolling that rattle instead of carrying it, I guess because there's just 1. And then the pacifier, 2 Pikmin are fighting over it. So I kind of feel like throughout this video, it's almost proof that when Pikmin don't work together, they do not perform nearly as well, which certainly feeds into the whole idea that Pikmin perform a lot better when they have a captain, and thus the whole Yeah, the whole idea that every time a captain comes to the planet, it increases their numbers and they benefit greatly, and that's why they do it. That's why they allow themselves to be controlled by a captain, because they don't know how to coordinate themselves clearly. Oh yes, here. I also wanted to say, I don't know why it took me so long to notice this one, but did you see that? Right there. It's super obvious now. Can we slow that one down? I'm gonna slow that one down here. Oh, look at the block over there. There's a third Pikmin right there. Picking up a block that brings our total to 3. At least 3 Pikmin. I'm writing that down. And okay, we're gonna speed this back up again to normal. Okay, so we got 3. There's 2 Pikmin fighting over this pacifier. The other one has absconded with the block. They're still fighting, and even when they get all the way up to the shelf, I believe they're still fighting over it. But here we go. See, there's another one. That one took me a bit. That one took me a little bit to see. Watch back here. Okay, I should just keep it slowed down, shouldn't I? This one is hard to spot. Right behind the baby. What do you see right over here? Just a sec. Yep, there it is. There is a different block being carried away. Now, see, again, because they're invisible, we're not 100% sure. For all I know, that first Pikmin, the third Pikmin, gave up carrying that block, the other block, and then decided to carry that one instead, because it almost kind of seems like the block that it was carrying a second ago. Was that it? Was that it right there? Or is that a different one? I don't know. I've not examined all the telemetry and everything. So it could technically be the third one again. But I think maybe it's safe to assume that that's a fourth. Let's be generous. Let's call that a fourth Pikmin right there, because it's only seconds later, and it's carrying a different block. At the same time, they seem a little greedy though. It could. Okay, maybe we do. Hold on. We got to go back. I'm sorry. We do. We got to see. This one was carrying that. This is important. This is important work. Hold on. Where is it? It's right there. This one was carrying a block right next to these 2 other ones. Is there? Okay. Kind of next to the poof thing. All right. So we go from that image over to there. Is that the same? I'm trying to. Maybe that's not the same. No, that's not the same collection of blocks right there. So yeah, that's a fourth Pikmin. I'm calling that a fourth Pikmin. All right, that's 4. And then another one that is very easy to miss the first time appears when the baby is trying to get the pacifier. This is the famous one. I guess this is the one. Maybe it's the easier one. I don't know. I didn't see it till someone pointed out. It's right there. There's some sort of moving object over here. It slows down and stops, and then continues moving. So that is it. And that one, that's not anywhere near these other blocks. That is a definite 5th Pikmin. We are up to 5 Pikmin now. 5 Pikmin in this short film. And then from here, not a ton happens for a bit. Nothing really happening in the background. And then we get up onto the shelf. And then, yeah, at this point here, this is where I didn't exactly know what the Pikmin was doing, but now it does seem obvious that it's still 2 Pikmin fighting over it, because it's just kind of jerking around all over the place. Yeah, see, it's getting pulled from different angles. I don't believe I see anything back there. I've not observed anything back there. Could be I'm missing something. I'm not perfect. But yeah, they're jerking it all around. They're fighting, and then they hit the ball. The ball falls, and at this point, we don't get too much. I don't think I have seen any more moving blocks or anything past this point. We also do not know how many Pikmin are still on this. Are they both on it? It's jerking around a little, as though at least one Pikmin is trying to remove it. But I don't know if it's still both or not. The rest of it is fairly uneventful, unless Pikmin are pushing the baby up, helping it to get on its feet. Possible, right there. Maybe there's a purple Pikmin pushing the baby. Probably unlikely. Yeah, there's nothing else really moving in the background. For a bit of a stretch here. All seems pretty quiet. However, there's another one coming up that is also really, really easy to miss. You know, I'm not even going to slow it down because I think you can probably see it better if it's not slow. But watch this. The mom catches the baby. Okay. They have a tender moment. She puts the baby back down to give the baby a chance to walk again. And then watch over here. Watch over here. Look at that. Look at those two right there. You see that? The rattle, the original rattle, and another block are rolling. Interestingly enough, they're not being carried. I will slow it down now. You'd think that the little one would be carried. Again, Pikmin don't seem to be as efficient without a captain. Could just be they're all just kind of, I don't know, they're just flying by the seat of their pants. They don't know what they're doing. But yeah, that rattle and that block are definitely moving. They are rolling. Both of them. Kind of in the same direction, which is a little bit weird. And I do have to wonder why the smaller block is rolling instead of being carried. It could be that the animators did this to make this a little bit more subtle, because it would be like too obvious otherwise. They wanted to like put another bit of movement in there. But yeah, now the question is, does this confirm the existence, the presence of more Pikmin? Because again, it could be that some of these other Pikmin that were already here have like changed their minds. You know, obviously they haven't carried anything back to an onion yet, but have they changed their minds and are now changing what they carry? This is a pretty big object. I don't know. At the same time, weren't there more blocks before? I feel like there were more colorful blocks. And now just like the plain wooden ones are still there. I really don't know. So can we call this a 6th and 7th Pikmin? Because where are the Pikmin carrying them? Are they stashing them somewhere? It's too fast. I think it's too fast for those Pikmin to have taken their other objects somewhere else. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to mark it down. I think that's number 6 and 7 right there. I could be wrong. I'll fully admit. I'm trying to get an accurate, like, at least number, and maybe this is me messing that up. This could be me spoiling the whole thing. I could be making a jump here. But I think it makes sense. I think the other Pikmin who were already carrying objects, they would still be carrying those objects. And I don't think they could have gotten back fast enough. So I think that's 6 and 7. Let's just say it is. And that actually is it for the Pikmin carrying objects. But then, of course, you have this shot right here. This poster over here. This is not, you know, obviously these are not real Pikmin. These are only images. More of an Easter egg than anything. But those do look like Pikmin down there. They really do. I don't know why there would be, if Pikmin are invisible, why would humans have any depictions whatsoever? So that's why this is a bit more of an Easter egg. So I suppose I won't write it down. But it is worth pointing out. There's perhaps Pikmin representation there. And then that's it. We don't really see, I have pored over every pixel. And I don't really see any other one. Yeah, that blue block is gone. I think that got carried away. I don't think I see any more. So that means that, okay, you know what, maybe if you want to be super accurate, maybe you could say that our definitive at least number is 5. But we could say it's easily 7. So there are between 5 and 7 Pikmin, invisible Pikmin, in this room. that we can see during this short film. And let's compare. Let's compare these shots, because then we can see how many blocks have been carried away. Okay, so we start. It's a similar angle. It's not the exact angle. I don't know. The camera is kind of higher here. You can't quite. I feel like there's so many more blocks here in this shot. There are so many more colorful blocks. And it could just be the camera angle. Most of these are like the wooden blocks. Maybe let's go back to that first shot. Here you have a mix of wooden. There's the door. We can see the door, and you can see a mix of wooden blocks, and there's a couple plastic ones too. But then here, there are no plastic ones. That's for real. No, that's for real right there. This is immediately in front of the door. You can see a number of blocks. It falls over there. I don't know. See, but at the same time in that shot, where are the little puppets? So maybe this angle is a little bit too severe, or maybe, just maybe, this is not consistent. This is the placement of the book right there. How does that factor into this? Where's the book? The book is right there. And in this shot, the book is in front of a bunch of... This book is in front of a ton of blocks. Okay, so it could be that it was just not animated consistently, and we should not be looking into the placement of the blocks whatsoever. And this is one of the most ridiculous and pointless things I've ever done in the history of this channel. That is possible. So perhaps we should stop and just say there are between 5 and 7 Pikmin in this little short here, not counting the seemingly 3 that are more of an Easter egg than anything. If those are indeed Pikmin, which they might not be, but I think they are. So, yeah, that's what I did today. That's the video. That's the video I made today. As one of the videos that I did, and it's certainly a video that you watched. Thank you for watching. And if you've spotted any more, please let me know in the comments. We will not rest until we have counted every single Pikmin.